solutions are devastating to the fate of the universe. They cannot be true. Don't you see?
You mean Professor Einstein's equations actually lead to an expanding universe?
That's exactly what we find. The universe is blowing up as we speak.
It is amazing. Your redshifts, they do not lie. The entire universe is dynamic and evolving.
Facts are facts. Your static universe just does not wash,
Hold on, Hubble. I can see Professor Einstein's concern. Perhaps we should all step back and contemplate our navels for a bit. We need to come up with a united front before Frank Capra gets here with reporters. Professor Einstein, how can your theory lead to both a static and an expanding universe? Can you please help us understand this?
Of course, of course. I know quite well that my theory predicts an exploding universe, or even a collapsing universe. But don't you see? Both choices are totally abhorrent. They violate the very aesthetics of physics. I must protest in the name of symmetry and elegance.
Aesthetics aside, theory must fit with obstinate facts.
Let me explain. When I first realized the disastrous consequences, I felt compelled to change my raw equations. So I inserted my cosmological constant, which rendered the universe pleasantly stable and in agreement with all the available observations of a static universe. I brought the theory in perfect tune with all the pervading harmony of nature.
But those observations of a static universe are totally wrong.
It is just too arbitrary to add in a constant to suit your tastes. Even for you, Professor Einstein.
Ja. I see that now. Ironic. To punish me for my youthful contempt for authority fate has now made me the authority for young mathematicians to defy. Hubble, you have proved that the universe is expanding. No matter you have properly exposed my mathematical error, I was wrong to insert that ugly trick into my theories. The static universe belongs in the dustbin of discarded theories. This is the first blunder of my career.
Your only blunder was to doubt yourself.
You mean your unadulterated theory actually reveals an expanding universe?
Indeed. Expansion is the most elegant result from my original equations. No matter, you should feel completely vindicated. I went astray. I rejected the obvious solutions which you also realized. In my arrogance, I could not conceive of a dynamically evolving universe.
I must admit, I was completely devastated by your rejection, coming as it did from such a world-renowned authority.
My friends, we are all at the leading edge of science. Not all our observations, let alone our theories, will prove correct. There will always be confusion at the frontier.
I am most deeply touched by your acceptance. And yet we have all come to the same conclusion here today. The expanding universe celebrates the victory of theory and observation together.
The youth who left the Ozark Mountains of Missouri makes Einstein change his mind.
But you are all forgetting one crucial difficulty, my friends. What is powering your cosmic expansion? Surely you cannot be suggesting that the hand of God...
Creation!
Creation?
How
How do you
so?
get that?
Your expanding universe proves there was a glorious moment of creation. If I may borrow one of these balloons.
Would this work?
Ah, perfect. D'accord. Now, think of these marks as the galaxies. Now, go back in time. If the universe is expanding, then yesterday it was smaller than it is today, and last year it was even smaller. The galaxies are all much, much closer together, do you see? If we go back far enough in time, we find that all the galaxies are super compacted into a tiny, tiny region.
This is an apocalypse.
Are you still worrying about the end of the world?
Oh, hardly. By apocalypse, I mean this is the ultimate revelation.
The universe began at that glorious moment of creation and exploded outward with an enormous eruption. The energy released in that spectacular detonation at creation powers the expansion.
But how can you be so certain that there was such an explosion?
An explosion, that's it. It had to be an explosion. After the explosion, the slower moving galaxies moved a relatively small distance, so we find them closer. Whereas the faster moving galaxies got farther away. The faster they took off, the farther they are now. Oh yes! The explosion explains our intriguing velocity-distance relationship. And wait, there is another surprise. See how our law can tell us the date of creation, the age of the universe, and creation's birthday.